Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bachelor Nation official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The brilliant single woman contender Jonathan Rone has fostered areas of strength for a with-driving woman Joan Vassos. However, will he prevail upon her eventually? Joan, a 61-year-old tuition-based school overseer from Rockville, Maryland, turned into the very first brilliant Lone Ranger subsequent to showing up in Jerry Turner's brilliant Single Man season. Despite the fact that Jerry and Joan were shaping a profound association, she needed to leave his season right on time to take care of a family crisis. Presently, Joan has another opportunity to find the following extraordinary love of her life during the brilliant Lone Ranger season 1. The mother of 4 and grandma of 3 lost her significant other of 32 years, John, to pancreatic malignant growth in 2021. As Joan proceeded with her excursion during the brilliant Lone Rangeress, she started with a gathering of 24 men. Jonathan has turned into a leader to prevail upon her, yet does Joan pick him eventually? Jonathan is a 61-year-old delivery expert from Oakland, Iowa. In the initial, not many episodes of the brilliant Lone Wolfess, he opened up to Joan about his past feelings of anguish. During episode 2, Joan picked Jonathan to be the prom ruler during the 80s prom bunch date, which implied that he got the gathering date rose. Prior in the evening, he'd told her that he didn't go to his own senior prom since he'd requested that a young lady go with him, and she'd said okay, yet later altered her perspective and retreated. He was the main understudy of Variety at his secondary school. Jonathan confessed to Joan that this episode totally obliterated his self-image. Nonetheless, he added that this new prom with Joan mended his heart. During the brilliant Unhitched Female Season 1 Episode 3, Joan picked Jonathan for a one-on-one date, during which they went horseback riding. He enlightened her regarding his separation, and how much the abrupt separation impacted his life. They had loads of tomfoolery, sharing incredible discussion and, surprisingly, a few kisses, and Joan gave him the date rose. Jonathan has uncovered his inner self to Joan, and they appear to be going down the correct way. As indicated by an Instagram post from Reality Steve, Joan doesn't pick Jonathan toward the finish of her season. Be that as it may, the reason for their separation has not yet been uncovered. What is known is that Jonathan doesn't come to Joan's old neighborhood dates since Reality Steve shared that Joan picked Jordan Heller, Pascal Ibgui, fellow Gansert, and Chalk Chapel for those dates. After Joan's old neighborhood dates, she expressed farewell to Jordan, which implied that she spent her dream sweet dates in Tahiti with Pascal, Fellow, and Chalk. Pascal self-wiped out at either the last 3 or the last 2 since he wasn't infatuated with Joan. This implies that person was either sent home after the dream sweet dates, or he came to the last 2. Reality Steve uncovered that Joan picked Chalk eventually, yet he couldn't say whether they're locked in. It's amazing to hear that Jonathan didn't come to Joan's old neighborhood dates, particularly in light of the fact that they appear to have such a profound association. It'll be intriguing to perceive how their relationship closes. It's awesome to hear that Joan tracked down adoration with Chalk. Ideally, Jonathan can proceed with his excursion to find love as the star of the brilliant Single Guy Season 2. Is Jonathan Rone the victor of the brilliant Lone Rangeress? He has turned into an unmistakable number 1 with a profound story, and Joan Vassos has areas of strength for a with him, too. However, will he come as far as possible or turn out to be sent home and left grief-stricken? Continue to peruse for additional subtleties. Brilliant single woman Jonathan Rone, the champ? Jonathan Rone isn't not normal for his kindred single men as he has a heart-wrenching story. His significant other purportedly let him know one morning that she needed a separation. This appeared unexpectedly, and it broke his reality. He has been passed on to be a single parent, however, it has not been difficult to bring up his children and open his heart. This is a comparable story to different men on the show who have lost ladies they love or are frightened to cherish once more. Joan Vassos separated on the Wednesday, October 2 episode of The Brilliant Single Woman. She was on a performance date with Jonathan when she felt her late spouse's presence. Falcons were hovering above, and that promptly set off recollections and signs. In the end, Joan opened up to the leftover men about how she was all inclination. She might in all likelihood never move past her late spouse, and that was all right with them as they additionally had waiting sentiments about their accomplices. With respect to Jonathan, fans love him a great deal, so it would check out if he somehow managed to be the lone survivor. Not going to lie, I really like Jonathan. He's so kind and very attractive. By and by, I would date him in a moment. The manner in which Jonathan opened up to Joan was so reviving, thus strong, you could see Joan paid heed to it amazingly. Tragically, Jonathan Rone isn't the person who gets the last rose. As indicated by Reality Steve, Joan's last four are fellow Gansard, Chalk Chappell, Pascal Ibgui, and Jordan Heller. That implies, incidentally, the 61-year-old was dispensed with. Eventually, Joan Vassos apparently picked Chalk Chappell with Pascal self-wiping out. In any case, obscure when occurred. Once more, a ton of these indispensable subtleties should trust that somewhat more time will elapse. However, Jonathan Rone's disposal could occur out of the blue, when 1 week from now. Joan appears to truly like him, so he might keep close by for quite a while, which would be great. Is it safe to say that you are stunned at who came to the last four, and might you want to see a greater amount of Jonathan? All the more all in all, how about she have picked Jonathan, or is Chalk a superior fit? Tell us in the remarks beneath, and watch the brilliant Unhitched Female Wednesdays on ABC. Brilliant Unhitched Female Admirer, Jonathan Rone, is another competitor who has in practically no time turned into a fan number one. Many can't completely accept that he is 61 years of age. The attractive transportation master from Oakland, Iowa, established a colossal connection with Joan Vassos and on fans. Presently, continue to peruse to figure out more about this senior cutie searching for affection. About Jonathan Rone. Brilliant Lone Rangerist competitor, Jonathan Rone established a magnificent first connection with Joan Vassos. At the point when he got out of the limo, he was wearing a gold veil and declared that when he saw her interestingly, he believed them should search in one another's eyes. After Joan talked with him and he strolled inside the unhitched mail house, she noticed that she too thought he was charming. Sometime thereafter, he said he composed a sonnet for her. He discussed her short time frame on Jerry Turner's Time of the Brilliant Single Guy and said, "So I composed a sonnet, it's in my heart, it's short, it's sweet, and on the off chance that you truly like it, I can rehash. As my heart is loaded with ecstasy remaining here before you, so presently what do I do? Grasp your hand, be your man, and trust you comprehend that I'm appreciative and favored to see you in that dress." Joan was dazzled and noticed that he is a decent man and establishes an excellent first connection. She said he's exceptionally earnest. Jonathan was hitched, yet that at last wound up in separate. He has 2 youngsters who are his main need throughout everyday life. Jonathan likewise has 3 pets, a canine, a feline, and a floppy-eared hare. He's prepared to track down somebody extraordinary to go through his time on Earth with. On Wednesday night, brilliant Lone Ranger Joan Vassos took a portion of the men out on the town to the prom. Jonathan Rone uncovered that he didn't go to his own prom in secondary school. He was the main man of variety in his little secondary school, and his date turned him during a time before the much-anticipated day. Jonathan was granted the title of prom ruler, and he and Joan shared a kiss and a sweet dance together. He likewise got a rose. There are as of now many fans who are expecting Jonathan to be named the following brilliant unhitched male on the off chance that he doesn't track down adoration with Joan. What is your take on Jonathan Rone? Is it safe to say that you are succumbing to him as well?